Good afternoon. Good afternoon and welcome. We're glad you're here. Welcome to the University of Kansas Student Employee of the Year Awards Ceremony. My name is Ann Hartley. I'm from the University Career Center, and I'm pleased you're able to join us today for our 8th annual event. I wanted to start off by telling you a little bit about student employment at Kayuu. At Kayuu, we have about 3,800 student employees on campus working in a wide range of jobs in almost every department. Our campus simply couldn't run without our student employees, and we're really pleased to be able to recognize a select group of you here today. When we started this program back in 2012, I wanted to learn more about the history of student employment at Kayuu, so I went to the Spencer Library and searched through some records to try to find some things. And I uncovered some interesting information, mostly from the 1930s during the Depression era. In 1934, Kayuu had a student population of 4,000, and 4 years of college cost about $1,500. About 45% of students worked through school, and students earned on average $15 a month, or about 30 cents an hour. This rate just about covered room and board. Today, undergraduate students nationally who work while enrolled during college is something like 80%, and I believe here at Kayuu it's even higher than that. So I think we're even above that. So a large majority of our students work while during school. In A University of Kansas, A History by Clifford Griffin, he noted that during the Depression era, there was a real need for students to have jobs, and some students were quite ingenious in finding them. One taught contract bridge to Lawrence Society women at 50 cents a lesson. Another worked as night chief of police. And a third, and my favorite, a third prowled the heat pipe tunnels to collect cockroaches, which he sold to an entomologist in another institution for 2 cents apiece. So students can be very ingenious about finding work and getting through college. And as you know, having a student job is oftentimes what makes a difference for students to be able to stay in school and complete their degree. And as we know in the Career Center, it's also something you do to build your resume because you're learning some really great skills that you'll take with you when you graduate and move into your career after college. A little bit about the background of the Student Employee of the Year recognition program. As I mentioned, we started this in 2012. Each year, colleges and universities across the country recognize the importance of student work, the student work experience during National Student Employment Week. And this week occurs annually during the second week of April, and the purpose is to draw attention to the contributions of student workers that they make in the many roles they fill on campus. So back in 2011, we formed a committee to implement a recognition program for outstanding student employees. Many of the departments on campus do recognition programs for their students in their own departments, but this was the first time we had formed a recognition program that was campus-wide. So we send out a campus-wide email to supervisors across campus and encourage them to nominate their students through an online nomination form, which obviously many of you did. The nominations are solicited through early February, and we also solicit volunteers to help us review the nominations. And then in February, we have our volunteers read all the nominees. This year, we received 64 nominations, and each one of those nominations is read by 3 different people. Then we take those 3 scores and combine them to get a total score, and that's how we select our 5 finalists, and one of which who will be named the winner this afternoon. And as part of our recognition, our campus winner is entered into a regional competition through the Midwest Association of Student Employment Administrators. So the Midwest Regional Association selects one winner for each state in our region. There are 4 regions in the country, and each of them have about 12 to 13 states in each region. And then each state winner is considered for their regional winner. And then each of the regional winners are sent to the National Student Employment Association to compete for the National Student Employee of the Year. And the National Association has been recognizing outstanding student employees since 1995. So we're very pleased that we are now competing in this national recognition program as well. So again, thank you so much for coming. And at this time, I'd like to introduce Interim Provost Carl Lejeune, who's going to share a few comments with us.
Good afternoon, everyone. This is a really special day. It's an opportunity to say thanks to an important part of our community that I think we really can't ever say thanks enough. I was a student employee myself when I was an undergraduate. I worked in housing, and I was actually a resident advisor in a freshman dorm every single year that I was in college, except for my own freshman year. A lot of people question my judgment when it comes to that. But one of the things about it was it taught me a wide range of skills that I still use all the time. It taught me to be able to balance a wide range of competing priorities and responsibilities. It taught me a whole separate set of skills, and it gave me an opportunity to meet people and to expand my social network in ways that I hadn't really thought about before. It is true that at Kayuu, we have a large number of our students who are working, and it is an incredibly important part of our commitment to try, and I think we have to really redouble this effort into the future to find ways to keep a college education affordable. And we're not there right now. Part of that you see in the number of our students that are working, but it has to be a commitment that we need to have, and in the meantime, we need to make sure we continue to do everything we can to provide as many student working opportunities as possible. Now, in terms of talking about our nominees today, there's a wide range of nominees, and just looking at the nominations is really exciting, and I just want to take a second. I know we'll do this again, probably do it many times, but just thank everyone who nominated someone and everyone who was willing to be nominated. And when we think about the opportunity today, it's saying that our students matter, and they matter in ways that we often don't think about. And so what I'm really excited for is the opportunity for everyone to not just be able to hear who our winner is, but see some of the really outstanding and amazing things that our student employees do. So it's a very exciting day, and actually it is fitting that one of my favorite student employees will come up. We were trying to figure out whether student body president is a student employee, but I guess we decided it is. So I'm excited to have student body president Noah Rees come up now and talk with you a little bit. And in the meantime, I just want to thank everyone that put a ton of time into this today, and everyone who's come today to hear great news about our students. So, no?
Well, thank you so much for that introduction, Provost Lejeune, and thank you, Anne, for the honor of having me be here today to speak to all of you. It truly is an honor to represent the students as a fellow student employee. But thank you so much for joining us here today, and I wanted to take some time to echo the words of Provost Lejeune and say thank you so much for all that all of you do, both students and non-students alike. This university exists at its core to serve students, and today should not only serve as a reminder of that, but also that a reminder without students' help, our university could never be as great as it is now. I think back to my first time I ever stepped foot on this campus, which, little known fact, wasn't actually until orientation, going into my freshman year. But I was so lost, both literally in that I had no idea which building I was going to. It was Anschutz, which in my defense is kind of hard to find, but that's where I was headed, it turns out. But physically I was lost, but also metaphorically or figuratively in that, I didn't know what I wanted to do with my life. I was nervous, going into college for the first time. And it was actually a student employee that I spoke to in the library that helped me really understand that I was going to be just fine and that I had definitely made the right decision coming here. I had jokingly brought up that I wasn't sure what I wanted to study. I didn't know where I wanted to go after I graduated. And of course, that person's probably thinking, this is a freshman, they probably should have other things on their mind, like, how am I going to make friends? And believe me, that was part of it too. But she pulled away from everything else she was doing. She sat down with me. She worked me through building my class schedule, really all of that. And the whole way, along the way, she offered advice on how to be a successful student. Keep in mind, this was a student employee. And I was thinking to myself the whole time, I have never met this person before, and yet she was treating me like someone that she so dearly wanted to succeed here at Kayuu. And the whole interaction was so unexpected to me, but looking back, it seems so normal at a university like Kayuu. And looking back, I realized that we did actually have something very important in common, and that something was that we were both students. She was able to connect with me instantly on my very first day at Kayuu in a way that someone who may not be a student employee may not be able to do. And since then, I've never taken for granted just how valuable our student employees here at Kayuu are. Now, on the other side of the equation, I've also been fortunate enough to serve as a student employee. In my capacity as student body president, I'm working regularly with administrators like Provost Lejeune to tackle tough issues and come to strategic solutions on how best to keep Kayuu thriving. I've worked those early mornings and late nights and know just how stressful managing all of that can be on top of, sometimes 16, 17, 18 hours of academic credit. Being a student employee certainly isn't easy, but I think those of us in the room who are currently student employees or who have been in the past can agree that it is so worth it when you commit to something like that, because the skills you develop, the friends you meet, and the experiences you have are all things that you will carry with you for the rest of your life, or at least it certainly was for me. Regardless of who wins this award today, I want to know that each and every one of you have contributed in a meaningful and tangible way to help make this campus better than when you first stepped foot on it, which hopefully was sooner than your orientation. Maybe you were that student employee who calmed a nervous freshman in the library anxiously trying to build their course schedule. But no matter how you helped, you should be proud of all of your accomplishments, and I hope you keep that feeling of dedication to your campus with you as you progress through school or graduate if you're graduating this May. So once again, congratulations to each and every one of you here, and rock chalk.
And we will now recognize our 64 nominees. When you hear your name, please come up on stage to receive your certificate and Jayhawk pin. And then please remain on the stage until all our nominees have been recognized, and we will take a quick group photo. And I know we're all here to cheer on our students, but please hold your applause until the end after all the students have been recognized. Jacob Ackland, Recreation Services. Joshua Eschleman, Kayuu Dining Services. Kasra Alizadeh, Undergraduate Biology. Thomas Becker, Economics. Callie Boydston, the University Press of Kansas. Nina Buyasiti, Kayuu Center on the Developmental Disabilities. Hannah Bullington, Center for STEM Learning. Abigail Byrd, Institute for Policy and Social Research. Grace Coker, Watkins Health Services. Kosha Desai, Molecular Biosciences. Jacob DeVillibus, Kayuu Dining Services. Jacob was unable to attend today. Hallie Edwards, Information Technology. Kevin Farrell, Military Affiliated Student Center. Sarah Fine, Spencer Museum of Art. Emily Fish, School of Business. Ariadna Fonseca Diaz, School of Business. Ariadna was unable to attend today. Vanessa Freeman, Classics. Clarence Gartman, Physics. Vaughn Gessley, Dole Institute of Politics. Jennifer Grogg, School of Public Affairs, Public Management Center. Catherine Ham, Edwards Administration. Christian Hayes, Kayuu Dining Services. Christian was unable to attend today. Jacob Herrmann, the Writing Center. Paige Holmes, Kayuu Dining Services. Diamond Hutton, Conservation, Kayuu Libraries. Melissa Irwin, Environmental Studies Program. Melissa was unable to attend today. Jessica Jeanan, Kayuu Dining Services. Katya Jones, Architecture and Design Shops. Madison Keith, University Career Center. Chloe Kennemore, Film and Media Studies. Jasmine Keys, Study Abroad and Global Engagement. Kendall Kernla, Psychology. J.C. Krabeel, Kansas Athletics. Isabel May Criley, Kayuu Dining Satellite Operations. Brendan Madison, Physics. Kevin Matar, Undergraduate Biology. Samantha Myatt, Kayuu Dining. Joshua Ng, the Office of First Year Experience. Joshua was unable to attend today. Jonette Oakes, Philosophy. Cassie Olander, Student Housing. Shaista Pandy, University Career Center. Shaista was unable to attend today. Zachary Pearson, Medicinal Chemistry. Anastasia Popova, School of Languages. Gautam Reddy, Kayuu Dining. Rebecca Reutzel, Kayuu Dining. Adrian Romero Soto, International Admissions. Allison Rule, Kayuu Dining. Miranda Scheller, Office of Research. Michaela Schenkel, School of Music. Jacob Schermerhorn, Dean's Office. Phoenix Schroeder, Kayuu Dining. Caitlin Schultz, ADA Resource Center for Equity and Accessibility. Caitlin was unable to attend today. Daniel Smith, Comptroller's Office. Janie Sparks, School of Education Advising Center. Janie was unable to attend today. Krista Stencil, and Analytics and Institutional Research. Janie was unable to attend today. Or Krista was unable to attend today, sorry. Samuel Stewart, Molecular Biosciences. Michaela Stoiderman, Marketing. Jonathan Super, Chemistry. Catherine Swan, Recreation Services. Mariana Tomchek, Center for Undergraduate Research. Katie Tyndall, Kayuu Transportation Center. Daniel Villarreal, Office of Diversity and Science Training. Tiana Whitmer, the Office of First Year Experience. And Jordan Young, Office of the Vice Provost of Student Affairs. Let's have a big round of applause. Yes, thank you.
Hang on just a minute, I will take a picture. Everybody here? Did you get a picture? Okay. We'll take a couple more pictures just to make sure. Thanks for hanging in there. Yeah. I can stand here and pose. Yeah, it goes up on the website, you know. Okay, great. Thanks so much. You guys can just end it off the side. So
Let's have another round of applause for our outstanding students.
that's not even true yet. So yeah.
Do you want me to just go ahead with the 5 finalists?
What's that?
Do you want me to just go ahead with the 5 finalists?
Well, as soon as they sit down, we can.
Okay, we will now recognize our 5 finalists. So when you hear your name, please come back to the stage, and the supervisor of each student will say a few words about their nominee. In no particular order, the first of our 5 finalists is Jordan Young, nominated by Kevin Joseph, PhD in Physics and Astronomy.
Good afternoon. And actually I have a PhD in higher education, not physics and astronomy, but I appreciate the compliment. I'll take it. Good afternoon again. My name is Kevin Joseph. I serve as Director of Assessment and Strategic Initiatives in Student Affairs, and I'm happy to be here this afternoon to brag about my student employee, Jordan Young. Jordan arrived at KU as a transfer student during the spring 2018 semester. Upon his arrival, he noticed minimal programming or opportunities that centered the Black student experience at KU. As a result, he reached out to me to share his thoughts on things he would like to see happen to improve his and his peers' time at KU. Jordan's interest and commitment to improving the student experience ultimately led to the creation of his position in our office. Over the last year, Jordan has played a major part in leading the establishment of the Connect. Student Affairs is a new monthly event designed to connect underrepresented students to campus resources and student organizations. Jordan also created and manages the KU Plug Instagram account at @theplug_KU, in case you want to follow it, which he established to increase awareness of campus events relevant to underrepresented student populations. During the summer of 2018, Jordan served as a student representative on Student Affairs' Black Student Success Initiative Working Group, where we worked on identifying strategies to better support Black students at KU. While advocacy was not an expectation of the student in this role, Jordan has used his position to serve as a voice for his peers and regularly refers students needing assistance to our office. In short, Jordan's presence in our office has allowed us to better support our students and assist them with any needs or concerns. In closing, I would like to thank the awards committee for recognizing Jordan as a Student Employee of the Year finalist. As higher education professionals, we often look for ways to better engage our transfer student population. In my opinion, and I'm a little biased, I think that Jordan represents the model transfer student. In his first semester at KU, he recognized issues regarding the experiences of his peers and turned his interest in making a change at KU into a position in our office. For his determination, dedication, and commitment to the betterment of KU, I believe that Jordan is more than deserving of this recognition, and congratulations.
Our next finalist is Sarah Fine, nominated by Amanda Martin Heyman in the Spencer Museum of Art.
Thank you all so much for giving me the opportunity to be a part of this program. I think it's really wonderful to be thanking our students and praising them for the wonderful work that they do. I have to say that I consider the opportunity to work with students here at KU one of the best parts of my job, and I'm consistently impressed by their dedication and hard work. I have to say, though, the past few years I've worked with a student that I would consider to be really stellar, and I'm very pleased to have nominated her for this award. Sarah has worked for me for the past few years in the Learning Communities Coordinator position for the Spencer Museum and Arts Collaborative. This initiative involves working with K-12 educators to promote arts integration and collaboration between KC Metro schools and the Spencer Museum of Art. The basic duties of the position include project development, coordinating and implementing meetings and workshops, communicating with cohort educators, and evaluating the progress of the initiative. Sarah has fulfilled these responsibilities with flying colors. She works beautifully independently. She works beautifully in teams. She knows when to ask questions. I mean, all of these things that you hope for in an employee, Sarah excels at. But what sets Sarah apart is the level of curiosity and passion that she has for her work. I remember when I first hired Sarah, before she even had a chance to come into our office, the education office at the Spencer, and start work, she had an opportunity to attend a 3-day workshop in Kansas City, which she enthusiastically did. And that was followed by attending a number of other professional development opportunities and even going to the National Art Education Association conference in Seattle. Sarah's willingness to invest time in learning the content and strategies of our initiative put her in a place where I could rely on her to work with teachers to plan content for our site meetings, lead workshop sessions, and effectively contribute to the advancement of our project. However, Sarah's greatest attribute would have to be her passion for her work, a passion that motivated her to recognize and exploit connections between her graduate studies and the Spencer Museum and Arts Collaborative. And in doing so, she has brought a valuable perspective and expertise to our project. Sarah is a doctoral student in psychology and research and education with a particular strength in education and technology. Because of her experience, she developed a communication platform for our learning community, encouraging discussion and sharing among our educator cohort. She has also identified research from her studies that applies to the work that we are doing, contributing to our knowledge and perspectives on educational, professional development, and leadership, something that kind of pushing us forward in ways that I don't think we could have done without her. Sarah even wrote a paper about the Spencer Museum and Arts Collaborative as a part of one of her courses. I think from what we heard with the previous nomination, we would all agree that the thing that we really hope for is that these employment opportunities make it possible to create job experiences that support and enhance the educational mission of KU. And I think we heard that in the previous nominee, and that is so very true of this nominee as well. Sarah's passion for her work and education has made this reality through both what she has learned and what she has contributed. I am so thrilled to have Sarah's accomplishments, dedication, and hard work honored by being named a finalist for KU Student Employee for the Year. Thank you so much for considering this nomination.
That was beautiful. Next, we have Abigail Byrd, nominated by Jenna Hurd in the Institute for Policy and Social Research.
Good afternoon. I am very pleased to talk about Abby and her unique contributions to the Institute for Policy and Social Research. Abby started out as an undergraduate research assistant on a project for the National Science Foundation. Now, this was not your typical undergraduate position. It involved restricted use data and required Abby to complete special training to work with secure data. That included KU's Human Subject Certification, signing an NSF affidavit of non-disclosure, and NORC Enclave training. Abby took all this training and paperwork in stride. She tackled the mundane processes with care and was dependable throughout the year-long process. When tasked to explain the process used, she sat down and quickly wrote a thorough 8-page report. Professor Donna Ginther, PI for the project, had this to say: Abby's report surpassed my highest expectations for the project. When we shared this with the staff at the National Science Foundation, they were impressed by the detailed information and the new knowledge of challenges of locating survey respondents. Zan Weedle, senior research data engineer, commented, the documentation of the search process showed a level of thinking for an undergraduate that is remarkable. Documentation is not fun or easy for any of you that may have worked on research, and especially as the processes change, as search techniques are refined. But in an era of reproducible research, Abby's documentation of the research steps are a critical component of this project. Professor Ginther further states, Abby is more dependable as a research assistant than my graduate students in terms of providing error-free data. So her attention to detail and ownership has guaranteed this project's success. As you can imagine, others at IPSR were eager to have Abby work for them once the NSF project ended. And she now supports several projects, and I'm just going to mention two briefly. She currently is working on the Kansas Statistical Abstract, which is a 600-page publication about data on Kansas. And this involves data entry, and that is a key part of the publication process because it requires exacting attention to detail and procedure. And her work has been accurate and efficient and makes helpful contributions at our editorial meetings. She also works on the Heartland Project, and this is a coordination between 8 higher education institutions to increase prevention efforts in education about sexual assault on college campuses. Christy Holland, our research project specialist on this project, commented, "Abby is very thoughtful in how she approaches conversations around sexual assault. She reads multiple articles to find ones that offer a balanced argument to post on the Heartland social media account. While working on data reports, she diligently compiled the results into a unified, easy-to-read document. And the next step of the climate survey is to distribute incentives to students. And we trust that Abby will be meticulous in this work and that she will keep all the information confidential." So Abby, she demonstrates an intrinsic motivation to complete any task she is assigned promptly, thoroughly, and well. She is committed to excellence and welcomes feedback. She often anticipates what we need and knows when to take initiative. She's the model of a student employee. She's dedicated to her studies, but manages her time so that her IPSR work is on schedule. Working with Abby is a delight. Her enthusiasm is refreshing to our office. And on behalf of all your coworkers, we've got a lot sitting out there. Well, this was hard to keep this a secret. We are so pleased that she is a finalist for Student Employee of the Year.
Next, we have Madison Keith, nominated by Kendall Grender in the University Career Center. Hi, everyone. So I wrote some words here, and I might read from them. I might do an Oscar, like, tear in half. I don't know. At the core, Madison has been a true gem when it comes to student employees. I am fortunate enough to have not only had a great employee to supervise, but also a phenomenal student to mentor through our time together. Madison worked as the events intern in the University Career Center. I say worked because just about a month ago, I left my position in the University Career Center, and with it left my supervision of Madison. Since I've left, I felt like I've experienced a void that cannot be filled, almost like a breakup. Us staff like to think we have it together, and I'm sure that many of the students, it seems so, but Madison was really who was running the show in my office. Every day she walked to my office and said something like, have you done this? What about this? And always keeping me on my toes. And I mean, like, immediately when she walked in, she would ask that. In my nomination, I wrote a lot about what makes a great student employee. Many of the examples, I'm sure, are those all of us wrote about in this room, being on time, showing initiative, exceeding expectations, demonstrating professionalism, etc. But I think what really makes a great student employee is more than showing up when they're told to be and displaying leadership, all of which are still great qualities. But a great student employee also makes your work better, challenges you, and truly cares about the work you are doing for your department. And I think Madison exemplifies that in a lot of ways in her work that she did with me. One of the most impressive characteristics about Madison is her dedication and drive in everything that she does. If she puts her mind to something, she'll do it, always exceeding my expectations, though I'm certain these are just the expectations she always has for herself all the time. I wish I did have her work ethic, though she has told me that she can't imagine working 8 to 5 Monday through Friday, so perhaps her work ethic will be similar to mine one day. On one of Madison's first days of her freshman year, I told her that I would be her supervisor, but I also wanted to be a mentor for her when she needs one.
I can say that over our time together, I've seen you grow and thrive as a student, a professional, and a person, and I cannot wait to see where that takes you. Thank you.
Our final finalist is Jacob Herrmann, nominated by Kara Kenyon from the Writing Center.
Hi, so I have the pleasure of talking about Jacob Herrmann today. Jacob is a PhD student in the English department, and he has been in the Writing Center for 10 semesters, which we are going to be very sad when he is no longer in the Writing Center because that's a long time and we rely on him a lot. But during that time, he has worked in just about every role that a graduate student could work in the Writing Center. He's been one of our graduate consultants, he has been our administrative intern, and then now he's our workshop coordinator. Kind of in those roles, he's helped with our training and professional development for all of our consulting staff, which is a really big job. He's helped with scheduling, he has helped with special projects like assessment and thinking about our programs and the different kinds of things that we should be doing, and all of his feedback is just incredibly valuable to us. It really helps us a lot. And then currently as our workshop coordinator, he pretty much runs that program. We don't really have to do anything with it, so he's communicating with faculty who want workshops. He trains all of the staff that give workshops, and then he helps with the assessment of those programs. Jacob is incredibly professional, reliable, and hardworking. We kind of think of him as more of one of our permanent staff members than a student staff member. Sometimes he's more prepared for meetings than we are, which kind of puts us to shame, but we're also very thankful for it. And there are a lot of examples that I could give of Jacob's leadership and his initiative, but I chose one story that I'd like to focus on. I just started in my role as assistant director in July of this past year, so as I was preparing for the academic year, I was a little overwhelmed with just all the things that go into getting ready for August, as I'm sure many of you know about what July and August are like. And so I don't know how much you know about the Writing Center, but we have about 30 writing consultants who serve in a lot of different roles, and that's great because it means that we can do a lot of different things for our students on campus, but it also makes scheduling kind of this nightmare Tetris game where you're like constantly moving people around and trying to make sure that you're covering everything that you hope to cover. And I think Jacob could tell that I was sort of had hit a wall with the scheduling situation and needed some help, and so he offered to sit down with me and kind of work through some of the problem spots, and I didn't ask him to do that. No one else asked him to do that. He just offered to do it, could tell that I needed some help, and that was really meaningful to me because it showed sort of his ownership of the Writing Center and his care for the work that we do there. I saw that he saw himself as a valuable member of our team and wanted to make sure that everything that we do for the students was supported and ready to go for this semester. So that was a really kind of big moment for me in understanding how Jacob saw his role and how important he thought it was in the Writing Center. I'm going to read here. One of the core values of the Kayuu Writing Center is a commitment to helping students improve as writers and to promoting a culture of writing on campus. And during his 10 semesters here, Jacob has certainly embodied that value. Just during the last academic year with the workshop team under his leadership, he's reached more than 1,628 Kayuu students, which is a lot of students. So some of those were actually presentations that Jacob went and gave himself. Not only has he impacted the Kayuu Writing Center, but he's also benefited the entire campus community through his service. So we are really happy that he is chosen as one of the finalists today. He's going to be leaving us in July, and so we're really sad about that, but we're also very excited about what's next for Jacob. So thank you.
Before I announce the winner, I would like to take a moment to thank all of the supervisors for nominating their outstanding student employees. We all know that student employees give their all, and we couldn't get by without them and their hard work. We really appreciate all you do. Yes. And our winner of the 2018-2019 Kayuu Student Employee of the Year is Abigail Byrd in the Institute for Policy and Social Research. So please come back on up here.
Oh. Do you want to come up? Okay. Do you want to come up and get a picture? That'd be fine. Yeah, that's fine. We're going to come up and take a final picture before we close. And I don't know if you can see that, but what we've handed her is a $500 check. But at Kayuu, you actually get that through your paycheck. So we actually hand you this, what we refer to as the fake check. So you have something you can take home today and take a picture of. Yeah. All right. Thanks again. All right. Thanks, everybody. So congratulations to each of our student nominees, the finalists, and our winner. You all make Kayuu a really special place to work, and we're so grateful that you're here. In closing, I just want to say a couple things to recognize some important people. I want to recognize our Student Employee of the Year committee members. They're listed on the back of the program. These are the people who help contribute their time and energy and ideas to make this event possible. So I want to say thank you to them. And also recognize our volunteers who volunteered to step up and be a reader and evaluate our nominees. And they're also recognized on the back of the program, and some of them are here today with us. And then finally, we also wouldn't be able to put on a program like this without our sponsors and donors. And those are, again, listed on the back of the program. But we really appreciate their contributions because it makes it possible for us to put on this nice program. So please join me in a warm round of applause for the committee members, volunteers, and sponsors. Thank you. This concludes our recognition program today. Please join us. Please stay around and join us at the reception at the north end of the ballroom where we have some really great refreshments. And some of our donors gave us some wonderful door prizes. So all of our nominees, we've put your name in a hat, and we're going to be giving away those door prizes immediately following the reception. So hang out and stay around for the reception, and you might get a door prize. Again, thank you so much.